I'm Alex.
And I'm Teddy.
And I'm Spencer.
And we are
The Button Mappers.
Hey, the Button Mappers.
All right, Maps and Mittens, it's time. Time to catch 'em all these podcasts. We are the Button Mappers, and we map out games and map out games, and we also discourse on games.
Wabafet.
I'm joined today by Wabafet.
Wabafet.
Or Whoa Buffet.
Toad.
That's what I nickname all my Pokemon, if I were Spencer.
That's my favorite Pokemon. It's Toad.
I'm Polytoad.
Are you?
Some days.
That wasn't one of the Pokemons.
That's not a Pokemon, Teddy.
Oh, let me just verify that on RBY and then send it to you guys. Okay. We're here. It's the generation of Pokemon that is everlasting. But which one is it? Is it the first gen, red, blue, and yellow, or the second gen, gold, silver, crystal? The age-old question. Which one is worth it?
Well, I think they're both worth it.
Great episode, guys.
All right, we can go home, right? See you guys later.
Okay, so fine. Let me do like the brief recap here. We were thinking of making this a community discourse question, but we just didn't know what everyone's kind of like level of entry here is as far as like knowledge on the topic. We were gonna kind of like debate what are the perks and what are the downsides of each generation, and then which one do we prefer, Pokemon Gen 1 or Pokemon Gen 2. If you like, this is something you're more than welcome to do a video response to us to on YouTube, and we'd be happy to check it out. But for today, we are going to debate it here on the show.
And this show is available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, along with YouTube. And don't forget to join our Discord.
Thanks for that, Alex.
And I would also like to add that a spoiler alert, but I think we made it pretty clear at the beginning of the month of Game Talk anyway, that we're gonna be doing Gen 2 map out next Monday. So anything we talk about here will probably carry over to there.
Join us then in the next generation.
On the next episode of The Button Mappers, Spencer catches a Caterpie.
Oh! That was the
Teddy-
sound that I would make when I caught a Caterpie.
And Teddy finds the lost piece of the magic Pokemon ball.
Oh, I accidentally sold that in the mart. How do I get that back?
Will our heroes make it? Find out.
Gen 1, speaking of Caterpie. Red, blue, and yellow. Tell me, guys, what do you like about the first generation of Pokemon?
When I think of the first generation of Pokemon, I think of the Pokemon. Because, like, that's the generation that, like, if you showed me one of the Pokemon, I could be like, oh, it's that. It's, whatever. And from 2 on, there's Pokemon, I've been playing Gen 2 for the map out, and there's Pokemon that have cropped up that I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, who the fuck is this Dragonfly? It's like, that's the most memorable generation for me in terms of the Pokemon designs themselves.
Yeah, this one's gonna be not fair because I'm a little older than you guys, and Pokemon the first gen has like everything for me. It has the Pokemon, like Alex said, are for me more memorable, and for him that's interesting that he says it. So that's kind of
Dude, I was there too. So don't be saying I wasn't there, Spencer,
No.
I was there.
What I'm saying is like I'm at a certain age when I'm playing it where I'm transitioning away from that stuff, and you guys may have been so young that you're still entrenched in it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was very into Pokemon. I'm not saying I wasn't, but but yeah, Red and Blue had the Pokemon in it that are memorable. I mean, you still see Charizard, or Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Pikachu today. Like those are still like the standbys. But also the game itself just captures like this sense of wonder that I don't think I've experienced since. So it's the whole thing is just a big treasure. How about you, Teddy?
Yeah, I love Pokemon Sleep. So I know the monsters as being really classic as well. I think a lot of people will argue that from the first 2 generations is when they were classic, and once it started getting to 3 on is when it started getting kind of weird, like trash bag Pokemons. Although I know that's not Gen 3. I am nostalgic for Gen 1, really for the whole package. You know, I think when we played it, maybe it took me around like 20 hours to beat, but it really felt like a whole substantive, strong package. The experience was strong. A lot of it was tied to the anime, and both were strong at the time. So, like, you know, you see Misty in the show, but then you fight her as a gym battle, and Brock's got a Geodude in the show, and oh shit, Brock's got a Geodude in the game too. Geodude. Whoa.
Geo, dude.
Well, not to be confused with George.
George Duke. Remember that from the map out?
This episode is brought to you by the Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow map. Did you know? The button mappers. Well, now you do. My thing about the package is really the environments that you explore, you know, which is what I was kind of leaning towards with talking about Misty, talking about Brock, the whole exploration. You have to go through a damn cave to like get to the other side. And that, like, you know, there's like the Rock Cave, there's the Moonstone Cave, there's the Victory Road Cave. And so like that, it almost feels like a classic RPG in some senses. How do you guys feel about that?
I actually kind of disagree. Well, I don't disagree with you, but it's going to make more sense when we talk about Gen 2. So I do agree with you on that point, but I think there's more conversation to be had there, which we will have shortly.
I did like how you brought up that Gen 1 felt like a full package in terms of like connecting to the anime and stuff, because it really did, and it had something to do with the hype surrounding the series when Gen 1 came out, because you know not only was there the anime, there was the game, all the merchandise, Pokemon cards. I collected a shit ton of Pokemon cards. Like they all felt like they were like sort of integrated into like one entity, you know, and I don't know if they felt like that since Gen 1, like moving forward. Like, you know, I don't know, like I played a lot of Gen 2 and Gen 3 growing up, and I like when I was playing Gen 3, I wasn't watching the anime, I wasn't collecting the cards at that point, you know, I was just like strictly playing the game. So I do kind of like agree with that like dichotomy of like the first game having its own like weird orbit, you know, around all of the different like sections of Pokemon at that point.
Yeah, it's kind of a golden era. And
No, that's Gen 2.
no, I'm talking about Gen 1. That's the silver era.
No, well, some would say it's a pearl or maybe a lost ruby, you know.
Oh, maybe it's the yellow era.
Oh,
Ew.
Well, there you have it. A lot of people say that Gen 1 is broken in the sense that, like, you know, there's a lot of difficult type matchups. The psychic type is overpowered, and then like the ghosts and bug type don't really have any good moves. Did you guys feel that when you played through Gen 1?
as an adult, yes. As a kid, no. I had no clue and I didn't care. And that just kind of goes to show you where the power of Gen 1 is. It was just such a great game for kids that none of that stuff like matters at all. In fact, most RPGs, if you look at them, especially older ones, are broken statistically. It doesn't matter. The key to these games isn't the statistics or the numbers that they bring, it's the stories they tell.
Beautiful.
Also, Gen 1 had a really bitchin' soundtrack. I mean, you should listen to it. The music.
Gen
Cool.
2 also has a pretty bitchin' soundtrack, so I don't want to hear it.
Hey, Gen Z makes music.
In terms of like the types and stuff and like things being broken though, Gen 2 adds what? They add steel, right? And what else do they add in Gen
Dark.
2? Dark,
Dark.
yeah.
Are you guys ready to
Dark.
move on to Gen 2?
Well, we're just kind of talking about both of them. I'm just
Okay.
kind of.
Dark and Steel, the two types, yes.
We're talking about the gameplay. I just wanted to talk about like the types that kind of like were added into Gen 2 to like help differentiate it a little bit.
Okay.
So, do you feel like that fixed any of the issues that the first game had with its whatever you said, not being fair or whatever?
Spencer, go ahead.
Yeah.
You go first.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't delved deep into Gen 2 as much, but from my playthrough, I still felt Psychic was pretty powerful. Looking at you, Slow Bro, that one shot my victory bell. But aside from that, yeah, I didn't really have any serious problems or was like, that's insane. So I guess it fixed it. But again, looking at that, like, it didn't matter. Like, if whether it was broken or not, I'm not going to sit there and break down the numbers. I'm not some like number crunching guy. The game played fine, so I didn't notice anything.
Dark definitely offset Psychic entirely because Psychic does nothing to Dark. So that was a really useful type. Every time I used to play this, I used to go through the painfulness of befriending my Eevee and then evolving it at nighttime to become an Umbreon. And then just like leveling up the hell out of my Umbreon so, you know, its attack was balanced enough to take on the other monsters. Dark like really helped offset Psychic, and then the idea of Ghosts, which never was really implemented in a way that was too dangerous to your Pokemon. Steel was a really cool concept. I remember the first time I saw a Steelix in you know, the I forget the name of the town, but the 6th gym badge, Jasmine. And I was like, damn, I'm supposed to fight this huge Steelix. And so you know, there was a lot of like powering up of monsters and types, and I think that was really visible in Gen 2. But I think it also kind of pacifies some of the real lurking dangers and threats that were in the first game. Like every time you fight an Alakazam in the first game, it's like, oh please, you know, I hope I got 20 revives.
Just take my wallet. Just take my wallet, please.
Here, Alakazam, I surrender. Don't send me to Nurse
Look,
Joy.
man, I don't want any trouble, man. Just
I'm just trying to run, okay?
you're like in a dark alley, and like Alakazam like pops up on the other end. Oh god! Oh god! Oh, look, man! I don't want any trouble. You just like take out your wallet, throw it in the ground. Just take it, man. Just take it, please.
Here, take my Pidgeyspop while you're at it.
It's like a chicken.
I swear. It's on the package. How about you, Alex? Did you feel it was pretty balanced?
I don't know. I'm not good with this sort of thing, like with balancing in games, like even like RPGs, fighting games, whatever it is, because like I tend to just focus on having fun, and so like, you know, focusing on that sort of thing, like if it's noticeable, yeah, I'll be like, oh, hey, to fix that, but like you know, again, I just sort of focus on when I'm playing. I focus on like trying to build the strongest team, leveling up as much as I can, to just sort of like dominate my competition. So yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Let's talk about some of the added Pokemon to Gen 2. So Gen 1 had 151, and I think by the time Gen 2 rolled around, there were around 251. So an added like 100 or so. What were some of your most memorable additions to Gen 2?
Well, obviously it's Hoot Hoot. Okay, it's not Hoot Hoot.
That was a real hoot hoot.
That was a real Hoot Hoot.
Because you could hear the owls.
Oh,
Go.
can we talk about Miltank? That
The cow?
that cow that like stopped me like 5 times from beating that gym leader.
Talk about Miltank, says it.
That cow stopped me 5 times from beating a gym leader. That was ridiculous. Just came out of nowhere. I was like 5 levels ahead of it, and it still would like 2-shot my starter. That thing is, I guess, memorable because it's ingrained in my memory.
You know, on that note, there's actually quite a few gym leaders that have like that one Pokemon that just is
Decimator, yeah.
danger.
My God.
Yeah.
For me, I think it was probably Gengar, and when I was a kid, it was Kingdra in the Dragon Gym.
Oh, dude, that Dragon Gym was fuckery. I mean, you know, we'll talk about more about that in the map out, but whew, I don't know how many fucking hyper potions and full heals I used in that fucking gym.
Yeah.
Like one fight.
Yeah, we'll get to that in the map out. There's so many stories about that fight that I can tell.
But, in terms of the new Pokemon, I don't know if there's any that really stick with me as much as like the original Gen 1 Pokemon. This is the point to where I thought, like, growing up, I remember playing this one. I remember playing Gen 3, and I thought like Gen 3 or Gen 4 was where I start being a little off-putted by like the Pokemon designs. But no, it started here in Gen 2. There are some Pokemon that I discovered while playing, and don't ask me their names. I tried to fucking describe them, and you'll be like, huh? But there's some Pokemon that like popped up that I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, that does not look like a Pokemon. And this kind of like proceeds through the rest of the franchise for me, where I'm just like, I see things pop up when I'm playing like the newer games and stuff, where I'm like, what the fuck? That does not look like a Pokemon.
I agree. I think the first gen Pokemon are way more ingrained in my head, and maybe it has to do with that anime tie-in. But I personally, when I see a lot of the Pokemon from Gen 2, not all of them, I think Hoot Hoot is stupid, but I do think there's a lot of cool Pokemon that come out from this game. And when I see them, I'm like, oh, I want that Pokemon. And that was really hard to do during the 6th Pokemon challenge, because I was really tempted to get a lot of the new ones. How do you guys feel about the legendaries?
They're legendary.
Like Miltank? Because it's dairy?
Man, the Gen 2 legendaries, I don't know if I care about any of them. Like, the only one I have any remote like care for is, I guess, Entei? Right? Is that Gen 2?
Yes.
And that's only because of the Pokemon movie with Entei. Where like he's like the dad gets turned into an Entei or whatever. And that's like the only thing like the rest of it is just like I like see these other legendary Pokemons from Gen 2 and I'm like, I just don't give a shit.
Well, I guess Ho-Oh, the weird part about Ho-Oh, and I'm wondering about the timelines, I guess, because Ho-Oh was in the anime, like on
First
one of
episode, right?
like the first episode.
Yeah.
Like, was that released around when Pokemon Gold was coming out in Japan or something? Like, why is that? That's the only reason that Pokemon stands out. Otherwise, no, I don't. Yeah.
I imagine that Ho-Oh was an unused asset at the time, and then they probably just brought it in for the next one. Who knows? But there's definitely some nostalgia there for Ho-Oh then. But then later, when the Pokemon movies came out, like I remember the one with the birds, and like Lugia was the cool one, and nobody gave a shit about Ho-Oh after that.
Yeah, Pokemon 2000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I've always liked the other legendary birds more though, like from Gen 1.
Yeah.
So
there is something appealing about that like psychic flying type though. I do really like the bird legendaries from the first gen, like Pidgeotto and Spearow.
Isn't that weird though? Like the legendary Pokemon in Gold are these Ho-Oh and Lugia. That's the other one?
And Hoot Hoot.
Hoot Hoot.
And Hoot Hoot. In the legendary birds, they're not exactly great in Gen 1.
Moltres is a freaking chicken.
He's a giant chicken on fire.
And
Yeah, but
they're kind of
Zapdos is legit though.
Yeah.
They're kind of a joke, right? Articuno.
Articuno also looks like a chicken, but I do like Zapdos. Zapdos is cool.
Yeah, it was just Spanish 1, 2, 3. It's like I almost think they barely cared about these Pokemon. Like one is
Oh
a
my
fire
god,
bird.
it is Spanish.
I never thought of that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never put that together in my brain.
Yeah, I'm Mexican, so I was like, whoa.
Wow!
Whoa, I could read that. And they're a joke.
Ay, Dios mío.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I mean, it's an ice bird, a fire bird, and an electric bird.
Yo, if this game had a Firebird, I'd be all about that. Driving around in a Firebird.
It does. Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh is another
Oh,
Firebird.
okay.
It's not exactly like setting the world on fire with design. Now Mewtwo's freaking cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if I guess you'd consider him a legendary, but he's like
Yes,
he is neat. Yeah.
Well, like Mewtwo's like you still see Mewtwo. You still see Mewtwo merchandise today, you know, and so same for just Mew, like because they're just that popular of like characters, you know.
And Mewtwo takes the cake. Like, who gives a shit about Mew when you have Mewtwo? But like they really pushed Mewtwo out in a way that like they did not with Mew. Like Mew is cool. Like there's that one stage in Pokemon Snap where you like take a picture of Mew and like, oh, okay.
Well, like Mewtwo has his own fucking movie.
Mewtwo has his own fucking movie. You get the card when you get the movie, like when you went to the movie theater to go see it.
Yeah.
And also like you can never really seem to get Mew in the game. It's kind of just like an urban legend. Like you move the truck and you get the Mew. You know what I'm talking about? Or you didn't make it past Vermilion. That's right. So
not nice.
But just to that point, I agree that Mewtwo is pretty badass.
I think when I'm comparing these, to me, less is more. And I think with Pokemon Red and Blue, like all the Pokemon just seem simpler, especially when you compare these legendaries. Like Mewtwo, Moltres, Zapdos, these Pokemon have like a color palette of 2 or maybe 3 colors. And then if you look at these other ones, there's so much going on here with like we got that's teal, light blue, purple. I guess it's not that many, but it's just the design is crazy. There's the one looks like some kind of weird dog-ish creature. There's so much going on here with these characters. Like, man, it becomes like complicated just to try to appreciate them.
And it's funny you mentioned that because that's what starts putting me off when I get to like this generation and on is like is the Pokemon designs. I think the starter designs for Gen 2 are still pretty good though. Yeah. Chikorita with the Totodile and Cyndaquil, is that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, those three look like Pokemon, but it's just it's just some of the other designs, like Miltank or whatever, they look so fucking bizarre, and it's like this does not look like a Pokemon. This looks like something else.
Can we talk about the visual overhaul? How the
There's
games
color!
look different? Yeah, there's color. Well, you and me played Crystal recently. And so, like, I don't think this was in Gold and Silver, but there was also animations for every Pokemon as they come in the battle.
Pikachu is fucking cute.
Yeah, Pikachu had a good sprite in Crystal. You know what? They do this in every generation, except I think until you get on later, like X and Y and stuff. But, like, based on the version you have, they look different on the game. So, like, Spencer didn't see our cute Pikachu. He probably had some aberration.
Yeah, shitty. Probably had a shitty Pikachu.
He got Suckachu.
Yeah.
Pika sucks.
Yeah. Piece of shitachu.
My Pikachu is eating a sandwich. Was yours?
That's actually cool. Which version did you play?
What kind of sandwich was it?
Was it a Hero of Time sandwich?
Yeah.
Wow. So he had the Master Sword?
Yeah.
What?
Shit.
The Master Sword with ketchup.
You don't fuck with that Pikachu.
No.
Pikachu has sandwich in one hand, the Master Sword in the other. I know which starter I'm picking.
Yeah. Take your choice. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good, although it's not leaps and bounds ahead of the first one, although it couldn't really be because it's basically the same hardware.
Mhm.
But yeah, the color splashes are nice. I like the palette.
Town. Pallet town.
How'd you
It was
guys
nice for-
town comparison time? How did you guys like the towns in Kanto versus Johto? Okay, Kanto I believe is Gen 1, Johto is Gen 2.
Johto's Gen 2, yeah.
Yes. So
I wouldn't say I give a shit about the town designs, but I think I like the map better in 2.
Oh yeah. The map itself is better in 2 for one painful reason. But I like that it's more of a circle, so it's a
Yeah.
little bit quicker to get around.
Yeah, there's more shortcuts, too.
Mhm.
Which is nice.
I found a lot of the towns in Johto were forgettable.
Yes.
Okay, I'm interested that you guys are saying that because I agree with you, but I was wondering if it was because I was just not like the reason, like Lavender Town and the memorable towns from Kanto are there because I remember exploring them as a kid. And I was like really entrenched into them. And when I was playing through Gold and Silver, I just didn't have that connection to them. I was wondering if that was it or not.
I played both as a kid. I just think that there's a stronger identity for the ones in Gen 1 versus Gen 2. Like the Lavender Town thing. I think the Saffron City being blocked off by police officers or like the Team Rocket Syndicate for every single building except the gym. Like I have so many memories attributed to each town that you have to, like, you can go 2 ways to get to Cinnabar Island, and when you get to Cinnabar Island everything's on fire, versus you sail to that one island to get the medicine for the Ampharos and fight a gym battle and then come back. What am I supposed to attribute to that? Oh, I got to see Suicune in the corner because I played Crystal version.
Which I avoided because that battle was bullshit.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, I admired a bit of it. I admired with Gold that it tried to tell deeper stories than Gen 1 did. I don't know that it succeeded, but it certainly tried to be like, especially later, like we have a red Gyarados problem.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Racist.
The one in the top left, struggling even to remember the name of it, but they had Moo Moo Farm, but you didn't have to do anything with it. Like there was no requirements there. So it was just kind of like, okay, that's there. If you don't tie it in, it's hard for me to care about it. Yeah, I feel like surfing down to that area was kind of cool. But like, what? Okay, there's a gym there, and then there's medicine. All right, bye. Like, I agree that I think what I appreciate is them going the extra mile to try to set these up for like almost like an anime arc story for each place. I just don't think that either the technology wasn't there or the know-how of how to create memorable stories was there. Something was missing with that.
You know what wasn't missing? Girls in kimonos.
That's true.
Go ahead. Talk to us about your experience at the Kimono Tavern.
I will do the map out.
So do you guys feel like, how do you feel about the storytelling in Gen 1? You don't think it was as successful as in this game?
I don't think I even care about the story, to be honest.
I don't mean like the main storyline, but the ability to tell stories.
Okay.
Well, to me, that's the genius of Pokemon, and that's why I appreciate what they're doing with Gold, but I also think that I prefer it how Gen 1 does it, and I wish that they would stick more to how Gen 1 does it instead of going the exact opposite way, which they're doing in more recent Pokemon. The story doesn't need to be anything. Like, the beauty of Pokemon is that I'm a kid and I'm questing, like I'm growing up and questing into this world, and I just do what I want. That's, to me, the story of Pokemon. There doesn't need to be an ancillary story.
Yeah, it's kind of like you make the story, right? You know,
Exactly.
your battles shape the story. So yeah, that's kind of my thing too. When I'm playing a Pokemon game, is that like when I'm forced into these like, forced to take down Team Rocket, I'm just like, man, I don't give a shit. Like I'm just trying to like get the badges and train my Pokemon.
Right.
I felt that mentality in this game as opposed to the first game. In the first game, it's like, oh, there's a museum. Cool. I don't have to go there, but I can. I felt like the leaving behind of journal entries by, scientists and, their experiments with Mewtwo. There was just there is so much incentive to wonder what is out there in this world. And Gen 2 left nothing for my imagination.
Yep.
The
They
3
wanted
dogs.
to tell you.
So what? Like 3 legendary dogs. Wow.
Yeah, I think, and that's the thing, especially in you see it starting in Gold, and you see it very, very prevalent now. Is they're trying to tell you a story, and in Pokemon Red, they're just trying to show you a world, not even really a story, but show you a world. And I think I appreciate that a lot more.
But there is a fan base for that, because I always see people talk about, especially like later on the games I didn't play, like Black and White. I hear people say like, "Oh man, but they got the best story," and I'm always like, yeah, "Who cares?" But like, clearly somebody does,
Well, okay, but let's quantify that though.
Yeah.
Because it's the best story of a Pokemon game.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
Okay, so the bar is kind of low, and it's probably not very good.
Yeah.
Even then, I wonder if it really even stacks up to the untold stories of Red, Blue, and Yellow. I don't know, because like Spencer's saying, maybe it's just told to you, and it might be good for a Pokemon game, but it might also be, pretty simplistic. Versus, I don't know. There's something like kind of uncanny about that first generation to me.
No, and I completely agree. Like I'm saying, I'm not for the stories either. I know that's my biggest issue when I play Shield, because I've put quite a bit of time into Shield, but like whenever the actual story parts come up, I just don't give a shit.
Yeah,
I'm just like, I don't. I mean, just move on. I'm just like, just tell me where I need to go next. But like, I spend most of my time in that game in the adventure field stuff, kind of doing my own thing.
Yeah.
And I think that like you said, that's kind of the beauty of Gen 1, is that like, they're here to show you a world, but you kind of create your own story.
Are you guys saying that Gen 1 is like the Dark Souls of Pokemon?
I never thought of it like that.
Ejected! Spencer just flies out of the body.
I will continue not to think of it like that.
Well, Dark Souls, they don't tell you a story. They just kind of put little hints at the world.
No, I know completely what you mean. Like the thing in Dark Souls is that like if you want story, you're gonna have to search for it, and that's sort of the thing with Pokemon Gen 1. So you would say Dark Souls is the Pokemon Gen 1 game.
Oh!
You would say Gen 1 is the Aladdin of Pokemon games.
Is Dark Souls the Aladdin?
Oh my god, dude. We figured it out.
People should be asking.
I can show you a world.
But you will never beat
Mewtwo.
Everything it sucks. And everyone is crazy.
I went to the Safari Zone and wasted Safari balls. The Kanto world. Okay. Talk to me about eggs.
They're ovals.
Spencer's not a breakfast guy, I know. But I'm talking about the eggs that you get in Gen 2, because now you can hatch Pokemon.
Weehaw.
You can befriend.
It's just one extra step to getting another Pokemon.
Did you say extra step?
Oh.
Hi, have you wanted to give birth to a Pokemon? Well, I'm here today to talk to you about mating.
That's me giving birth to a Pokemon.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, go
I
ahead, Spencer.
appreciate it. Again, there's a lot of things in Gold that I appreciate. And I appreciate that they wanted to add this extra wrinkle. Pokemon mating is a very interesting concept. I'm not sure it was really meant for kids. And I think it probably spurred a lot of awkward conversations. But I don't. And is it clearly is Pokemon mating mainly for like the more competitive players? Isn't that like breeding that, or does it start at a different time? Because I know it's a thing later.
There's a couple things. So there's baby Pokemon in Gen 2, one of which is Togepi, which is the egg that Elm gives you. The others, like you get, like there's baby forms of some unexpected Pokemon, like Pichu of Pikachu, or there's like Elekid or Magby of like some unexpected ones. So on the one hand, they're doing this cute thing, and also you have to evolve some Pokemon with friendship by giving them haircuts and feeding them nice things. And so on the one hand, there is the competitive element in terms of like passing on certain movesets to Pokemon through the parent Pokemon, and also passing on individual value stats that are used for attack. But on the other, they did it for this whole kind of cuteness factor.
Yeah, I remember whenever I forget which movie it is. I think it's the second movie, or I don't know, one of them. Whenever they had like the Togepi short at the beginning, and it was like Pikachu's with Togepi, and they're like hanging out, and Togepi's getting in trouble. It's like Pikachu's like, "No, Togepi, don't do that." I remember just being like, "Dude, this thing's just made to like sell toys, isn't it?"
This reminds me of when Spencer said during the first map out, how they always kind of hype up this idea of you have to be nice to your Pokemon, and then you just spend the whole game fighting with them. And this, it seems like it's an attempted counter to that, where you befriend your Pokemon.
Well, and they've been trying to do that ever since. Like now, you can like pet them and fucking play with them and
Cook curry.
Yeah, cook curry and all kind of stuff.
But I had an amazing relationship with my Pokemon, and all I did was fight with them.
Well, you sort of get attached. I get attached to them because I give them all nicknames.
No. Like statistically in the game, I had a great relationship because there's parts where you can like get items because you're nice to your Pokemon.
Oh yeah,
and they specifically said, "Oh, he loves you. Here's a cool item." It's like all I do is tie him up in a cage and make him fight other Pokemon.
Oh,
so like I don't really. I guess that they're trying to put out the impression that people are supposed to care about their Pokemon, but statistically, it makes absolutely no difference.
I mean, Pokemon basically is Stockholm syndrome anyway.
Yeah.
I captured you. Now love me.
Arranged marriage with Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't know. The mating thing, I appreciate it, and people like it. I know people like it because it was a thing that people talked about and still do.
That's
Especially, mostly what I hear about is from the competitive people
to get shinies, right?
Yeah, there's also like Pokemon generators online, so you can just avoid all of that time. I used to do the mating thing. Put a Pikachu in a box.
Shake it.
Yeah. Pikachu in a box.
Become a Pichu.
I'm trying to get the ultimate Raichu. I wanted to know Surf. So
was that real? You could get to know Surf?
Yeah, you could do that like from like Gen 2 or for Gen 1 or Gen 2. You could have the surfing Pikachu, I think in yellow.
Oh. Yeah. I think I remember hearing about
That's why in Pokemon Snap, like they have the thing with Pikachu on the surfboard on the first stage. And then there were a couple of special giveaways.
That's not Pikachu, dude. That's Pika Dude.
Oh, that's the Pika Did.
Pika
I can tell because he didn't have sunglasses.
Yeah. Pika Did.
Well, thanks, guys. I'm a little derailed now. I wanted to mention there's a couple other technical upgrades from Gen 1 to Gen 2. Do you guys can you guys think of any offhand? It's like little things that are done differently.
You know them, right? That's what you're asking.
Yeah, I don't want to just like speak.
Are the Pokemon like the AI smarter? Is the AI smarter?
I mean, depends how you define smart. In the wild, they're still wild, but in a battle, they'll mostly make logical choices for the most part. If it's like a trainer.
That Slowbro certainly did.
You had a hard time with that, Slowbro.
He cast Psychic every single time on my plant Pokemon.
Rip Spencer.
Well, Slowbro was way OP in the first gen because if you used Amnesia, it would raise both your special attack and defense sharply.
Oh,
So in the first gen, Slowbro was a beast. I'm talking more about like things like being able to select the bike and then press the select button.
Oh,
Or,
okay.
Or being able to go up to a tree and just press A and use cut. It used to be you'd have to go through the menu and like do all these little things, which is something I completely forgot until we played first gen over again. I was like, really? You couldn't do this? You couldn't just use the fishing rod by selecting the item?
You're saying like quality of life improvements.
Yeah.
And then the spaced out bags.
Yeah. That's another one.
Okay.
Held items.
Bank account.
Mom.
Sort of. With your mom.
Yeah, Mom. The
Dad.
fucking
Mom.
telephone. I want to throw my telephone in the fucking river, dude.
Jeez.
I got a call from fucking Wade every 5 minutes. Hey, man, I caught a bug. Yeah, I don't give a shit.
You gotta stop talking to bug catchers.
But my favorite thing, oh my goodness, my favorite quality of life improvement that I am so glad is I think in every Pokemon since, an experience bar. Oh my god.
It gives you like that little satisfaction, right?
Oh, and you're just staring at like, and you can make like decisions. It's like, do I keep this Pokemon in? He's not going to level up. Maybe another one will. And okay, this bar is almost filled up. Okay, let's use him. You can make a lot more smart leveling decisions when you're grinding. That bar makes it like twice as good. I love that bar.
It's amazing.
Good noticing. Yeah.
It titillates me whenever I beat a hard battle. Then it's like, you got however much XP, and I just watch it go. Whoop! Yes!
It's like pushing in on the Joy-Con. So fucking nice.
Oh, nice.
Yep, there's that. I'm trying to think. Other quality of life improvements.
A move delete. Well, they had a move deleter. I don't know.
That would be the main thing. I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, I can't think of anything either. But I also don't remember much of the technical stuff in the first game anyway. So at the moment,
they add like 2 to 3 extra HMs, hidden machines, in Gen 2. But some of them go unused. Like you don't have to use Flash in the first half of the game at all.
Well, you need it for that one cave. Right?
There's like 2 caves that have it, and they're later. They're late.
Yeah, well, that's post game.
Well, there's one that has it, but there's one that has it between the what is it? Between the 6th and 7th gym. There's a cave that connects them.
The 6th
and you'd have
gym
to
is Jasmine, and the 7th is Ice Price.
You have to use Flash on that cave.
No, you're talking about the Ice Cave.
No, not the Ice Cave. The one that connects the two. You should have to use Flash on that.
I don't even know what gyms you're talking about connecting.
Yeah, it was the one that with the Gyarados red, the red Gyarados.
Yeah, it's like between.
And the one
7
before
and
it.
8. Yeah, or like 7 and 6. Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah, maybe you're right, but I don't think I had to use that.
I walked in there and it was dark, and I was like, I didn't get Flash, and then I walked out.
You know what though? You can just surf. You can surf across to the right to get to that town.
Yeah, but at the time I don't think I had it. That might be why you didn't. Okay, yeah, because I didn't get surf until I went all the way over there, and then didn't realize I had to go all the way back.
Okay, I see.
So that would be it. Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
If you're doing what we were doing and trying to do a 6 Pokemon run, you need some HM slaves in this game.
Oh my god.
How was
Sorry,
that?
buddy. Sorry, buddy. You're just used for HMs now.
You're gonna learn Whirlpool, Waterfall, and Surf. Krabby.
Yep.
Oh, you got Krabby too?
No, I'm just using it as an example.
I got a Krabby.
I got Poliwag.
Yeah, that was. I don't like the more HMs. I think that's lazy. And some of them were TMs, even though those were more optional.
That was
But
the
putting
thing.
them as
Yeah,
TMs is dumb. That's
Yeah.
not smart.
that was not smart. What is it? Headbutt, and I couldn't tell if Rock Smash was a TM or an HM. 'Cause I
Yeah,
never
Rock
got
Smash TM.
It. Okay.
Like, why? And the newer ones felt super gimmicky. It was Whirlpool and Waterfall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're literally just like, now you can go into these select areas.
It was a waste of space, and there's no
What?
move tutor in this generation, or there might be later in the game. I'm not sure. But like for the first half, it's like, so you delete a move, and then you're left with 3, and your Pokemon's gonna have 3 moves for a long time unless you teach it a TM, unless you had more HMs on it, and then forget it, just release, catch and release. So
Yeah.
the fact of having 7 or 8 HMs, and you would have to have most of them in your party at a time, and it was annoying.
I just hate the idea of HMs in general. Like, you have to assign it to a move slot. Like, could you imagine if, like, as a person, I only knew 4 things? It's like, man, I really want to learn how to cook, but that means I have to forget how to ride a bike. Shit.
You better pick wisely. You can start walking to the store.
I like it. I like the idea of HMs. I don't know if they're executed the way I'd like it, but like in playing and being a dungeon crawler fan, part of the statistics of dungeon crawling is your ability to fight, but also your ability to explore said dungeon. So I actually like the idea of some of your Pokemon are also utility.
Yeah.
I just don't like. I think I agree with you that the execution of using HMs to do it is probably not the best. There's
Well,
got to be a better way.
Well, like, hear me out. If you do want to assign them to slots, for for the abilities and stuff, why not do it like, say, a game we played last year, Final Fantasy VII, where you can kind of like swap out the materia,
Why not
And-
just have it on the main character?
Well, yeah, well, that's my ideal thing. But if you do want to keep it with the Pokemon,
Yeah.
have it to where, even if I do want to take off another attack, I don't just like fucking lose it, because it's like, oh, I lost this helpful move, but I have to learn this HM, kind of do it like Final Fantasy VII did with with the materia, where I can just kind of like go back in and re-equip things.
I don't want
I
to
want
sidebar too hard, but do you guys like how Sword and Shield handled HMs?
I don't even remember.
How
how
the
they
fuck
handled
did they do it?
There was no HMs. You would just, I think it
Yeah,
was like,
I was like, how did it do it? It didn't.
it just ditched it, and like you could just
Yeah.
ride the bike over water.
Yeah, you just push the whatever button, the plus button or something, right? And you just get the bike out.
Here's where I would question, and you guys might disagree with this, but as much as some of them are upsetting, there is something cool to say that I have a bird that can fly me anywhere, and I have a Pokemon that can surf me anywhere. I like that. Some of the other ones, like basically all the other ones, I'm kind of like on. But I love the idea, like, oh, my Pidgey can now fly me to my location. That creates a bond in my Pidgey. I like that.
Yeah, but
It's a
I-
combat waster. So it's
Yeah,
a waste of
yeah.
space. Unless it's surf and fly is okay, but I hate that it's a 2-turn move. But surf and fly aren't wastes of moves. Cut
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah,
Flash?
yeah.
Who wants Flash on their Pokemon?
Like,
Yeah,
make
exactly.
the moves cool. Make the moves cool if you can do it.
Or
Like
just don't
fly
use
is
it.
such a strategic move. I love that
Oh,
move.
what if the Pokemon just had one slot? Not that wasn't for combat, but just for HM. Then you still had your 4 combat slots. Like, I think that would have worked. Yeah,
There's
exactly.
an
Yeah,
idea.
that would work much better.
And I was thinking of so many things when I was playing this of how to improve Pokemon, or if I could do it, like if I had my druthers, how I would make a Pokemon game. And I was thinking, like, what if you had 2 slots that every Pokemon could have on the side of their moves?
Yeah.
For either, and this is almost like an SMT thing, but either a passive or a field skill. And it's like you could just kind of customize your Pokemon in that way to have, like, instead of like having them to hold an item, they could just have a skill or something that improved fire moves or something. Or a bird could improve flying moves, and then you could give them fly. And like they just had like 2 skills up there that you could mess around with. Stuff like that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But they're not going to put that kind of that kind of complexity to it.
No.
Clearly.
I mean, they are complex in a sense, and they get more complex from here. So we could talk about that later. I do want to talk about this is kind of my last topic on it. Post game, the idea of having stuff to do after you beat the game. Typically, we consider beating the Elite Four as beating the game. In the first generation, when you beat the Elite Four, you can access the Mewtwo cave, and you can go fight Mewtwo and catch Mewtwo, and you can train your Pokemon and get up to level 100 if you want. And you can catch all 150 Pokemon. In Gen 2, they open up the whole Kanto region, and you can re-experience the delights of the first generation in kind of a reduced fashion. It's been a while since I played the post game, but how do you guys feel about the way post game is handled in Gen 1 versus Gen 2?
I think Gen 2 all the way on that front. Which I know from from 2 on, there's no possible way. Like Gen 3 could have had 2 previous, islands to explore, stuff like that. So yeah, I think Gen 2 is the other one that could have gotten away with this. But like, yeah, like I love the idea of being able to go back to the first generation's map in a sense, and kind of re-explore the areas and stuff.
Phenomenal. I let's not crap on Gen 1s though. I mean, Gen 1 had an awesome, because of the build up to Mewtwo.
Mm-hmm.
I think that goes a long way to saying, oh, now that I've beaten it, what is there to do? Oh, there's a cave that has Mewtwo in it? That guy? Oh, okay. That's freaking cool. So there's some incentive there, and that's great. But yeah, gold, silver doesn't even... that's freaking awesome that you can just explore the entire map of the previous game.
Well, it's almost a little unfair to compare them to, because... I mean,
yeah, because Red didn't have a previous map.
Exactly, yeah.
Here, you could explore the concept art.
Hey, I would have been down for that too.
You can explore Nintendo World Studios.
Here's a drawing of Pikachu.
Obviously, they're on separate planes, separate plateaus. Like, literally, they are separate areas. But how can you compare an entire added look back at the whole first game? That is so cool, and I can't knock that. I can't knock the Mewtwo thing either. I remember vividly playing the first game and doing my best, like, train in that cave and get my teams up to like level 100s. And it's hard and it's long, it was daunting, but I did it. I remember getting at least a few of them up to 100. And that shift from level 99 to 100 takes ages. That would have been so much easier with the status bar, you could see. But there's also something intimidating about having that little experience bar and like seeing how little it goes up.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, there's also, after you clear that area, you can go into like the final cave and you can fight the rival from the first game. You can fight like Blue or Red.
Yeah.
And I remember that battle being real hard. There's like level 80s and 90s. These guys got like a level 88 Pikachu. And there's also some really cool Pokemon by that point in the game. There's like Teddy Ursa. There's like Larvitar. Some real iconic ones. And so I do think Gen 2 handles post-game exceptionally well.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if any Pokemon game after this does it as well as Gen 2 either.
I think just in incomparable ways, because what Gen 3 does is particularly striking as well. But I don't want to go into a whole tangent on that.
But what fucking the remake of Gen 1 does is garbage, man.
I don't remember. What does it do?
So the remake of Gen 1, they lock certain progression elements, especially like trading and stuff like that, behind progression. So you basically have to complete the game and the post game to get certain abilities to be able to trade with other trainers.
Oh.
And it's fucking dog shit, dude. And that was all because they were trying to push the wireless link thing for the GBA. So they fucking screwed the remakes of Gen 1 up completely with that shit.
Yeah, I do like the sprite overhaul in the GBA one though.
Yeah, it is cool. It is cool. But I'm just saying, like, in terms of like being a kid whenever I was young and having a GBA, wanting to play that game and trade with my friends, it was fucking dog shit.
Did you guys play Heart Gold and Soul Silver?
I played a little bit of Heart Gold. I don't remember any of it. So I just know I played it.
That was a very funny story. I was about to do that and then read that there's a lot of little things that are different. So I didn't. But I wanted to. I always heard that's like the greatest Pokemon game.
It's great if you like things like seeing your Pokemon behind you, because the first member of the party would be behind you, like in Pokemon Yellow when you see Pikachu behind you, but it's any Pokemon. So that's actually really cool because, like, I don't know what, you know, like being able to see your Pokemon on the screen and not just in the battle was a really cool thing. And then also the Pokewalker, which was a stupid accessory, but I used to play with it.
That's where they started to introduce some of the really stupid accessories like the Pokewalker, and I was just like, I remember being like around at that time, getting, I think Heart Gold was the last like new Pokemon game I got, and just being like, this is weird. Like, this is getting weird. Yeah, and then from then on, I didn't play Pokemon until like I tried a little bit X, and then I bought like that. You know, Shield. Like Shield was the next one I got into. But
isn't that weird that Pokemon they the way that they grow Pokemon, or it seems now, is that they expand Pokemon, but they never like make the actual gameplay.
They
more
never fix anything. Yeah, they never like try to fix the gameplay or change things up. They just kind of like tack on something.
Hey,
like,
I know you'd love a Pokeball Joy-Con. Why don't you catch your Pokemon with this?
Have you guys played Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee?
No.
Yep, I have it. It's actually not bad.
Yeah,
if you're expecting a completely different experience, it's not bad.
Yeah, I have Let's Go Pikachu. It's like Gen 1 for like Pokemon newbies.
Yeah.
In a sense.
It's kind of cool to experience the world though, because it's like, wow, it's all like it's the world I know, but it's like beautiful.
Oh yeah. The game looks really nice, and I kind of like the idea of like that game. The wild battles aren't really a thing. You just kind of catch Pokemon, which is neat.
Yeah. It's a very, very different. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very different game. It's got 2-player co-op though. That's something to be, you know, looked at too. Is the idea of 2-player co-op.
Like thinking of all these Pokemon games, all these things that they add. Like let's add these crazy stories about cosmic adventures or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. And then it's like let's add a Pokewalker,
Giga battles and
Giga battles. Let's do it. I would trade everything. I would even trade the graphics. I don't even care about the graphics at this point. If you put Pokemon skill trees in there.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Just do something with these Pokemon to make them cool.
We sort of touched upon that on the knockoffs episode too. We were talking about like the world of Final Fantasy and stuff, about how like those games do the idea better because you can like customize your monsters.
Yeah.
I personally just love the Dragon Warrior Monsters thing, like the
absolutely
being able to see new Pokemon. They do skill trees. They do them on the DS one. Mm-hmm. You know, so I'd be interested to talk about those at some point, a bit more in detail. I'm ready for the final question, the age-old question. Gen 1 versus
worth it.
Gen 2. It's January, not Christmas. Gen 1 or Gen 2? Where do your allegiances fall?
This is a toughie. I think I guess I'll go first. I think in terms of, like I said before, the overall experience and design, I like Gen 1, but I just enjoyed playing Gen 2 a little more for some reason when I was playing it. Like putting the map out. Spoiler alert, I didn't finish the game, but I got to my goal, and I did it without like really having like stress myself out. Like, oh, I have to get this done for the map out. Oh, I have this for certain, so like certain amount of time. I was playing it and I was just having fun playing it. And I think that didn't happen with the first gen when I went back to it. So I would say second gen in terms of the game for me, I guess.
Fair enough.
All right.
You want to go, Spence? I kind of want to go.
Oh no, go for it. Yeah.
So I tend to like I like my core experience of a game to be like a solid package and just well balanced. And I know that people have issues with the first generation, saying that there are like, type imbalances, et cetera, et cetera. But it's like Spencer and Alex were saying earlier, it's really it's minimal in terms of the overall experience. I barely even bat an eye at it because I found it so compact, and I was moving at a good pace from place to place. In Gold and Silver, I don't really feel that sense of good balance and that sense of like similar titillating adventure that I get from the first one, where I'm really inquisitive about everything. And so what ends up happening is I kind of breeze through like certain segments of the game, and then other segments become a slog. Like I really gotta grind like for the Elite Four at the end, or like for a couple of these gym leaders like the stupid Gengar or whatever. And I'm not really like that hooked on what Gold and Silver presents to me. Are there things I prefer about Gold and Silver? Absolutely. I think it handles a lot of technical things better. But I'm not as invested as I am in the first gen's games. And I'm willing to sacrifice the graphics, and take the shitty mud looking, Charizard or whatever on the my half of the screen, just to get that that more exciting sense of quest and adventure. So I go Gen 1.
Uh-oh.
You're the tiebreaker.
Rubber meets the road right here. I think Gen 1 and Gen 2 offer very different experiences that you don't necessarily see from the outside. But when you've gone through it, you've analyzed it, you've played them both, I think Gen 1 offers a pretty bare bones, from a story perspective, game where you have to handle yourself and it doesn't try to hold your hand through it. And it's your adventure. Pokemon Gold is more of a traditional RPG where the story's kind of thrown at you. And I think a lot of people might like that more. But I think I prefer my Pokemon as my own experience, so I would have to go with Pokemon Red and Blue. I like that it's more difficult. I like that it's in some ways more archaic, but to me it needs to be that. And I think the Pokemon themselves are more memorable. And then really, when it's a game called Gotta Catch 'Em All, that might be the important factor. So.
Okay, you heard it here first, folks. Let us know in the comments below, where do you fall on the Gen 1 versus Gen 2 debate? We're also open to video responses. You can let us know. Post a link in the comments, and be sure to approve it. The rappers spam checker Alex will pull up his Master Sword and slice that check of approval.
Hiya!
You heard it here first, folks. Hiya.
Hiya!
Okay, gentlemen, it's been good. It's been real. I want you to give me your best life in the day of a Psyduck.
Oh. Sorry.
Like life in the day, like.
Oh, cool! I missed these Pokemon.
What's up? My name's Psyduck. Every day I get up, I do make a cup of coffee. I say bye to my wife. I hop in my car, and I go to my job every single day. The life of a Psyduck is nothing to laugh about, guys. This is.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Psyduck. Today is January 9th, 2021, and I'm here cooking the meal for the kids, the little young Psyduckling and Psyduck Jr. And Mr. Psyduck will be home later, so I'm gonna have to prepare.
Slams in the door. You bitch! I saw you with Golduck.
Oh, honey, don't make me call the cops again.
What did I tell you about me doing that fucking Golduck?
Okay, so as I was saying to the camera, I was gonna make brisket for tonight, and I was gonna go make some garlic bread. And little Psyduck Jr. Well, how do you feel about garlic bread? Psyduck Jr. Oh, there he goes. Isn't he just the most sweetest little thing? Oh my gosh, we have such a happy Psyduck
He's
family.
retarded. All he says is his name.
How come Psyduck Jr. has a weird jewel on his head?
Now, honey, what did we say about the R word at therapy? You shouldn't say it around our son.
And you shouldn't be fucking Golduck.
That's Golduck Psyduck.
So, thanks for watching Psyduck Mappers.
I hate breeding. I hate the fact that they introduced breeding in the Gen 2, man. My wife cheats on me now.
Curse you, Gen 2!
Curse you! We're ruining the sanctity of marriage. This got weird.
Hey y'all, don't forget to subscribe to them button mappers.